Welcome to INS, the International News Service, your source for the most important weird news from across the globe. With news analyst Kevin Harrison, actor, comedian, and musician Mike Wiebe, and professional commentator Brian Camp. INS, the news you need.
I remember back in the old prank call days, we'd prank call someone all the time, and they like threaten stuff, and be like, "All right, what are you gonna do? Like call them. You think they care? Oh, some kid calls me every week and says that I kicked his dog, and I didn't." Like, well, okay,
forgot about that one.
We'll bring a team over with a guy.
Gotta keep him on the line for 1 minute.
Keep him on the line for 3 minutes in order to trace the signal.
So, did you really call a guy?
You'd call and just say, like, "You kick my dog?"
I remember.
And just insist that someone kicked your dog and be furious about it. He's got a bruise. You calling me a liar? I will say, like, as a prank call prompt, just saying, someone picks up the phone, hello, and "Did you kick my dog?" Like the confusion, sometimes anger. Sometimes you get immediate anger in response to that. Like, "I heard you kicked my dog." Well, who said that? Frankie. Frankie said he saw you kick him.
That's right.
I got to come home and find out some shit like this.
Why is he limping then? Why is he limping? Just real bad logic. Yeah.
I would never kick a dog. Good, because if I find out you're the one that kicked him, I'm going to come over there and kick you.
And you called that guy every week?
We just called everyone saying that. I mean, it's a good one. I don't remember that. I mean, I just do remember having people, I don't even know if it was people that we called all the time, but I do remember having people going like, "I've got your number. I got a star 69 machine," or whatever. Got like, this is like in the early days of caller ID, but like, I've got your number. And be like, "All right, what are you going to do with it? You going to sue me? You going to go to a lawyer because I called you 4 or 5 times over the course of 2 months? Because you were hilarious every time we called you, because you didn't do the smart thing and just hang up immediately."
Hanging up kind of solves the issue. If there's no reaction, that's the only point, is to get a reaction.
Yeah, the whole point is to get a reaction. If you're just getting no reaction, it is not fun. Which is, translates all the way down to like troll stuff of people online of like, yeah, if they just, what these social media companies, maybe not on purpose, maybe inadvertently, but what they figured out was that they figured out how to make money on the whole piece of it. Any type of trolling of each other is good for them, whether it's, and that's, and it's just been, and so they kind of like, and to the point where they make the algorithm where you get more likes and get more views if there is people that are arguing and kind of trolling each other. And so it becomes less of an incentive for people to just hang up by just immediately blocking that person or not responding and deleting whatever the comment is.
All right, you guys ready to get started here? Welcome to the International News Service. We're your hosts. I'm Kevin Harrison, along with...
I am Brian Kemp.
I'm the fourth jerky boy, Mike Wiebe. And this week, so far, he hasn't cussed us out and stormed out of here. Mm-hmm. He hasn't left a bad Yelp review. Mark Ryan.
God damn it. I'm out of here.
No, you can't leave that easy. No, sir. That is...
You guys know I'm pretty temperamental.
Yeah.
You get scary sometimes when you're mad, Mark. I don't
call
know
you thin ice, Mark Ryan.
There's a look in your eyes.
Yeah. I don't ever have to raise it above that. See, that's the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to go that far.
Have you seen the way his dog shakes sometimes? When he looks at him, they just start to shiver. Those poor animals.
Yeah.
Our first story comes to us from... Story number 1.
Story 1.
I'm going to be eating raspberries during this episode. I will go ahead just so the listener has an idea.
I hope it makes like a very quiet sucking sound as you separate your teeth. Kind of a squish.
I require them to live deliciously.
All right. Our first story comes to us from mlive.com, which is a news site for the state of Michigan.
Michael Live.
I love it.
Mike Live.
So this is an update for a story we originally covered in a practice episode that hasn't been released. So I did all kinds of research, like, when did we do this? And it turns out we did do this story, but nobody's actually heard that episode.
Is that one of the 30 practice episodes we did in preparation?
Yeah. That was during the dress rehearsals, I remember.
Yeah. That might have been pre-Brian.
Mm-hmm.
The audience doesn't know this, but Brian is the new guy.
Hey, wait, what? Whoa, hang on a second. Did a version of this exist before I was involved?
Just practice
About
sessions.
6 years
Yeah.
worth.
You son.
Another 30 episodes.
You never heard it?
You guys are pieces of shit. I didn't know that. For the listener, I am.
You've read the contract about how much less you're getting than us, right?
You guys are getting paid?
That's why it says founders and then, co-host.
I feel like the lead singer of Anthrax.
Why? Because you're so antisocial?
No.
Because you feel like you're
Yes.
caught in a mosh?
Caught in a mosh? That's right. I was busy crying for the Indians.
In 2016,
That's when we started, 2016.
well,
Yep.
that's when we started practicing. Brian wasn't with us yet.
No.
In 2016, a Michigan man moved into his parents' home following his divorce.
A Michiganer. Call him a Michiganer.
Is that what they call them? Michiganers?
Yeah, Michiganers.
Michigander.
Isn't there a type of dive called a gainer?
Yeah. A gainer's when you do an inward dive.
Wait, like the N word? That's not cool. That's not cool at all. We're gonna have to cut that, Mark.
INWARD. Inward.
I guess the new guy is going to have to be replaced by a new guy now.
Hopefully, get some diversity in this fucking thing.
I stand by my piece of shit comment. Please continue.
So,
Please continue.
2016, man moves into his parents' home following his divorce in Michigan. 10 months later, he moved to Indiana with his parents promising to drop off his things. However, when he got his stuff, he noticed something missing. Specifically, he was missing at least 13 moving boxes full of porn that he said was valued at $28,940.72.
Huh. Now, are these? This is starting to sound familiar, and I have, I think, a similar question that I had last time. Are we talking VHS?
I think it's all kinds of porn.
I mean, how do you? I'm just wondering about 13 boxes,
You're right. Moving boxes, big boxes.
not shoe boxes.
Yeah, I remember talking about this. I mean, you might be like, oh yeah, it's just porn or whatever. You can get it for free on the internet, but it's important. I'll just be saying I'd be mad if there was one box that had 3 Doctor Strange comics in it that didn't show up.
God damn it.
And the dollar value is strikingly similar.
Yes, with your so that's to you. That's porn, Mike.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying that there's sentimental value in magazines sometimes, and a dollar value.
I'm okay.
These might have been vintage. These might have been, this might have been like mint condition Playboys with interviews with Gore Vidal right in the middle of them.
Like, there was a quote he said about how, like, some of it was so rare because it came from a studio that, like, closed 20 years ago and he could never replace it, and they never produced that many anyway. So, yeah, this is the rare porn. In fact, they had to bring in, this was one of my favorite things about the article, and I don't have it here in my notes, but they had to bring in somebody who is an expert in valuing porn, and she had a PhD.
What? That is the most shocking turn of events in this, and I don't want to be.
Women can like porn too, Mike.
Can they be experts in that, or let's be honest, anything?
Oh,
Dana's mad. No,
Ridiculous.
obviously that. I mean, I want to be very clear. I'm joking. Women can do anything, whatever. But porn is typically consumed by
What'd you say?
males, and then for people consumed. Why is that funny?
Consumed?
Consumed. I'm sorry if I speak with a bit of the kings.
I'm sorry. That's
You have some raspberry
That's right.
seeds in your mouth?
Are you
Is that what's going on?
consuming raspberries right now?
I've consumed a number. I think they were fermented too, because I'm starting to see weird colors here.
Maybe like a mold on them or something, like that bread
Yeah.
mold that we talked about one time in a practice episode.
Yeah.
Let's just all our references this time will be references
This
to
is a
practice
practice.
episodes.
Yeah, or we're going to say they are.
I want to know more about the porn lady expert.
I couldn't find out much about her. She was just an expert in porn valuation.
I like the idea that she puts on like one of those little jeweler's monocles to look at.
A loop?
Oh, this is a look at this asshole shot. this close up of a gaping anus, and it's pre 1987.
Well, she did say there were also 107 tapes in the collection she wasn't able to value. Like she
So
couldn't determine
VHS
it all.
cassettes.
It just said recordings.
Priceless.
Well, you said cassettes.
Well, I
said tape.
fucked up.
Well,
So
Yeah,
it's-
I mean,
what?
was it DAT?
thank
Was
you
it
for admitting
Betamax?
Kevin.
Was it Laserdisc? Was it DVD? Was it Blu-ray?
mini
Was it
disc.
reel to reel?
Do you think the majority of things that were produced and sold on Laserdisc were either porn, were porn as compared to actual other non-adult themed film?
I think it's the other way around.
Yeah.
I'm told the new markets tend to like kind of be driven by porn
Yeah.
as far as like formats, and that because Laserdisc didn't lean in on porn, and because Betamax didn't lean in on porn, whereas VHS and DVD did. Granted, DVD was years later and a lot more, obviously a lot smaller, but
Right. That's why I bought a 3DO, was for the porn.
That's a good reference, a 25-year-old video game system.
is that true? Did they have porn on there?
It was a DVD player, and it could play really fun games,
Like what?
like a game show. Like you a game show. That was always a demo game.
In 2019, the man sued his parents in federal court for $86,822.16 over the missing porn, which they said they destroyed.
It sounds like he made a federal case out of it.
Oh,
Thanks, Mike.
A U.S. district judge found the parents had wrongfully destroyed the man's porn collection, and in August of this year, the judge finally determined the man's damages. The judge ordered the parents to pay $30,441.54 to their son and $14,519.82 to his attorney.
Wow.
The judge also declined the man's request for triple the value of his pornography collection, which the man requested because of the parents' quote, wanton destruction of his property, and because the man said some of his porn was too rare to ever be replaced.
That'll be a fun family reunion.
yeah, that's rough. I do want to know what relationship is like now. What's going on with that?
Well, yeah, it's weird to me. So when he left because the police were called for some kind of domestic dispute, and they're like, "We'll bring you your stuff," which, like that alone sounds a little strange. Like, get the hell out, but we're gonna drive the stuff from Michigan to Indiana and drop it off for you.
Yeah.
It's a parent's love.
They went through all the porn because they turned over what they called the worst of the worst to the police, saying, "Hey, we think this is illegal." And then the cops looked at it
Bad
and went,
production
"No,
value,
Right.
bad lighting,
Right.
Yeah.
horrible sound.
It's all dubbed.
dubbed porn."
Yeah, they dub porn all the time. Right, Mike?
Oh yeah. Well, not anymore, but they used to, yeah, all
Yeah.
the time, because just too much big of a pain in the ass to like have a sound people on set and like get good sound. So yeah, any of your like vintage golden age of pornography is pretty much going to be always dubbed or looped.
It's like watching Fistful of Dollars.
ADR. It's called ADR.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Is additional dialogue recording?
Yeah. Or in this case, it's called All Dicks and Rectums.
You could be an expert, Mike, with knowledge like that.
I'm surprised they did not call me in.
Is this similar to ASMR? Is that something y'all told me about recently? Or a few months ago?
Like 20 episodes ago, maybe?
Well,
A sexy mouth rectum.
wow.
Maybe we'll just move on to the next story.
Wow, Mike.
I guess they just couldn't afford my legal fees of what I will charge to be an expert witness. Hey,
Are we going to call this episode a sexy mouth rectum? Is that on the horizon?
That may be the title.
do
Okay.
you if you're an expert witness at whatever, be it pornography or blood splatter, bite marks, or let's just say Doctor Strange comics.
Okay.
What
Damn it.
if there's a case and they have to call in expert witness? Does the expert witness get paid? Especially if it's like a really obscure thing, like if it was like a case going on in Minnesota and they needed somebody who was an expert on pornography and they had to fly in this lady from California or whatever.
Yeah, you could get paid.
How much do you get paid?
It depends on the expert and what they charge. And then you got to pay for like their expenses if they got to travel and stuff.
So some of that 14 grand that went to the guy's attorney was then paid out to the expert, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I would think.
Man,
Just
I would
to
assume that's
estimate
how
the
it
value
works.
of porn. Our next story comes to us from Vice.
The question here is which one?
Kamala Harris.
One of the attractions of Japan's Fuji-Q Highland Park theme park is that it has the world's fastest accelerating roller coaster. The Dodo Donpa was opened in 2001 and reaches speeds of up to 112 miles per hour in just 1.56 seconds.
Dang.
Throughout the ride's existence, injuries were rarely reported, and broken bones had never been reported until December of 2020. Now, the ride has been shut down after at least 6 riders mysteriously reported broken bones, with 4 of them reporting broken backs or necks.
Is it that much of a mystery if it accelerates to 112 miles per hour in how many seconds?
1.56, but
Yeah, I think the mystery is solved.
there'd never been a broken bone in like 19 years of operation.
Yeah, until they had the Little Goth Waifs convention. that came
Perjury a day at the theme park.
An investigation found no technical issues wrong with the roller coaster, but a Japanese architecture professor who studies roller coaster design said the ride's acceleration could be the problem. It accelerates at 3 times the force of gravity, which is comparable to the G-force experienced by astronauts during a rocket launch.
Oh, wow.
The professor said the seats could be an issue. If the riders were sitting forward or between the seats, they might sustain an injury during acceleration. According to the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions,
IAPA.
Yeah, the IAPA, that's yes.
Mike, have you noticed here that we've had 2 stories in a row, and maybe this is going to be the theme as we move forward, that have jobs that 14-year-old versions of ourselves would have loved to have had?
Yeah.
Porn expert
Yeah.
and roller coaster architect.
If only there was a way to do both.
No.
I bet there are some that are both.
Do you think that's behind the broken bones? Is that the
So, according to the IAAPA,
thank you.
one serious injury occurs on U.S. roller coasters for every 15.5 million rides.
Do you think they count water parks?
No, those aren't roller coasters. Those are water slides.
Oh, so it's only roller. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, that's
Roller
why I
coasters.
said U.S. roller coasters.
I only listen to the first part of sentences. I don't have time for the second half. The IAAPA, do you think they represent water parks?
I mean, that would be an amusement park attraction.
Okay.
What about conquistadors? Big ships that go up and down. Do those count?
Ooh, at Six Flags, yeah.
What about cliffhangers that pull you up real high and then drop you?
Did you ever put a penny on your knee on the cliffhanger? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Goes like right up to your face and you watch it and it hovers there for a minute.
And if it hits your leg on the way down, it'll shoot right through your leg. You have to be careful.
You'll die.
You'll die.
Because it'll hit an artery.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that, Kevin, that there is an artery in your leg that you can bleed to death from. It's the femoral artery.
But males have it too, not just femorals.
Oh, it's the femoral and the malleoral.
Yeah. Can you give me the time frames again? Nobody got hurt on this until this one time period?
Until December 2020. So I think it opened December 2001. But so it had been open for 19 years with no problem.
I would ride that ride. I'll ride it right now. I'll ride it without a seatbelt on.
No, that's why all these problems are happening.
No.
And also why it's closed down. You can't ride it.
No, it's because you know what? It's because these trophy helicopter parents with their trophy soy drinks, giving out participation lattes. They can't, and their little mama's babies in there. When I was a kid, they didn't even have roller coasters. You just jumped off a cliff.
That's right.
And you know what you landed on? The ground, the concrete ground. And that's what we did for fun. So I gotta say, I am sick of it. And you start to hear a couple months after Joseph R. Biden is pronounced president, after a couple minutes after he steals the election, all of a sudden you start hearing more and more stories just like this about kids that are too weak to ride roller coasters.
Did you say roller coasters?
Yep.
What do you think these stories are trying to distract us from? I mean, I think that's maybe the question.
Oh, yeah. It's weird that they're coming out right now, that these stories like this are coming out right now, and there's something going on overseas. So it is that thing. The whole news cycle is focusing on this roller coaster that people got hurt on, and everybody's completely forgotten about a little thing called COVID that somebody bungled real hard, and then another thing called Afghanistan.
You have diagnosed our country's problems effortlessly.
Yeah, so the big focus is roller coasters. Oh my God.
It's the same thing Nixon did. It was roller coasters for 2 years straight.
Yep. You know what? I'm here for the war on roller coasters. And because you know what I want to do on the war on roller coasters? I want to roll on roller coasters.
Oh. Well, I was going to ask, when was the last time you guys rode a roller coaster?
Right after September 11th, I was working on a game show that shot at Six Flags.
And you were squealing and having fun, weren't you? When everyone else was somberly reflecting upon the attacks on those Twin Towers.
Hey, this is going to come out right around the 20th anniversary.
Are you going to celebrate your normal way with a fun trip to the amusement park? Is that you're going to get yourself some cotton candy and ride the carousel, squeal with joy?
Our next story comes to us from The Guardian.
Of the galaxy?
Possibly, at least of the UK. In the 13th century, the northern Spanish city of Tasmos was known as a community consisting of Christians, Jews, and Arabs. This tolerance raised the ire of the local monastery, and in 1252, the monastery's abbot demanded that the Catholic Church excommunicate the village. This excommunication was granted, but 250 years later, the village and the monastery almost went to literal war over water rights. This dispute over water rights led to the abbot also placing a curse on the village.
Is this a news story or the synopsis for Castlevania?
It could be both. Castlevania was based on a true story, Mike.
Simon Belmont came in to give all the villagers water and to defeat Dracula.
How does the song from Castlevania go?
Castlevania, 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 Castlevania. When you're in Transylvania, you got to go to Castlevania. It's a big tower that the Dracula lives in and is not forgiven.
That's how I remember it. There it is.
Dracula is about to get in a fight, but watch out, that man can bite. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. I'm thinking about all the fun I had playing Castlevania as a kid with that song playing over and over again.
You got to get out before it's Dracula time, but first you got to fight a Frankenstein.
Okay. Then in 1530, the local castle was abandoned, so locals started forging coins there at night. And the monastery capitalized on this by telling people that the sounds of hammering they heard were ghosts and witches. This led to a spate of witch hunts in the area that did not end until 1860.
Hang on.
Yeah.
So they were making coins?
They were forging like Spanish coins so that they,
And
had some
when you say
walking around
forge, you mean you're using forge as copying, not just like forging, like making.
No,
I don't know how you made coins back then.
They would sneak in at night and copy Spanish coins so they would have their own money that they could then use on the open market at a much reduced, cost.
Well, I just never knew that there was a time in history that people thought that witches and ghosts sounded like Detroit auto workers. Pounding on shit, listening to classic rock music.
If you're driving through Michigan, on the sign for Detroit, it says Detroit, Haunted City.
Today, the village, which has around 98 residents, hosts an annual witchcraft festival that brings in around 6,000 tourists and includes tarot card readings or possibly tarot.
You mean tarot?
Tarot
card readings. Mm-hmm. Lotions. Is that a callback?
Lotions
made from local
to the porn story.
Yeah,
I guess
lotions.
Yeah, that guy definitely had some lotion too.
Was that the 14th box?
Yeah.
Lotions made from local herbs, and the crowning of one villager as the Witch of the Year. Apparently, the village is now on good terms with the local monastery, but when asked if they'd ever seek having their excommunication rescinded, the mayor said, quote, "We're not considering it. We're not going to do it. I think future generations would never forgive us."
This is just more normalizing the worship of Satan.
Yep, this is exactly what Pastor Steve told me about, and this is everything that he warned and what he told me about at that pizza party, that overnight lock-in pizza party.
Mm-hmm.
He told us all about it. I gave him all my Motley Crue cassettes to burn in a fire the next month.
Right. He was pretty sure you needed a back rub, but you kept telling him no.
Yeah. That is what they're doing now. They're normalizing the occult. They're believing in made up bullshit like this fake witches and Ouija boards and black cauldrons instead of real things that actually happened, like a giant boat that had 2 of every single animal that was able to completely save the entirety of the species on Earth.
Hey, we covered that in a past story, and so it must be true.
Did it have 2 little individual COVID viral beings?
Well, if evolution doesn't happen,
Well, no, but they're just in the bats.
the 2 bats.
The bats are kind of arcs for COVID then.
Yes.
Tick on a hawk.
Tick on a hawk.
I mean, this is like literally a question that I would like bring up and go like, well, so, there's like, fucking, I didn't say fucking back then. I didn't even know the word. No, but I go like, so there's like thousands of different species of deer. Is it like
Really?
one of each deer from each region of each, because they have like little different colorings or specifically I was thinking of bat. There's like hundreds of different kinds of bats. Like, was there 2 of each of all of them? They didn't have the answers either. I'll go ahead and I was in fact met with a little bit of like, you need to stop thinking, Michael. You need to stop when you start to get when your brain starts to just roll on that. Maybe you should just think about tithing.
Mm-hmm. That was 2 pieces of Halloween candy back then, which you weren't allowed to celebrate.
And our last story comes to us from the AV Club.
The Audiovisual Club.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was embarrassed to ask. Thank you for jumping out.
Yeah, it's some nerd shit. I would like an old school overhead projector. I would be happy to own one.
Yeah.
I guess you got to go somewhere special to get those clear pieces of paper made, right?
Plastic?
Yeah.
Are you talking about an Elmo?
Wait, how did Elmo get into this?
Oh my gosh. They're just called Elmos. So you're not I thought you were talking about like a projector.
Elmo was the voice that Mark said I would do very well.
No, Elmo's voice isn't grating at all. It sounds like listening to an angel.
Yeah.
I'm Elmo.
You sound just like Kermit.
Yeah. You sound more like Oscar the Grouch.
You're a real Oscar. Oscar, what was Oscar's worm friend name?
Wormy.
Are you sure?
I think it's Wormy.
I think it's Slimy.
It's got to be Wormy.
This is going to be a real problem.
Listeners, I need you to, we can't possibly Google this.
There's no way.
I need you to write in to internationalnewspod@gmail.com and let us know who is correct. And when it's us, we'll let Brian know that he's wrong.
I'm going to look it up.
I want Mark to
Slimy.
God damn it.
Damn it.
I don't know if we're getting to a fourth story tonight.
I actually was going to bet about $15K on that, and I'm glad that Mark called it first because I was willing to lose a lot of money.
Wormy? Wormy seems a little juvenile for Oscar.
Yeah, he's the edgy. He's the edgiest for sure,
yeah.
right?
He is.
I would think this is a case of the Mandela Effect.
Wait.
Anytime I get anything wrong, it's the Mandela Effect. The space-time continuum is broken.
Can you explain the Mandela Effect a little bit more?
Yeah, the Mandela Effect is a large the reason it gets its name is a large portion of people remember Nelson Mandela dying.
No, I remember him dying.
He's not dead.
What?
He was in prison, but he got out of prison.
Right.
On the Cosby Show, they named Sandra's twin babies, her and Elvin's babies, they named them Winnie and Nelson.
Aw.
Yeah, but then in real life, Winnie and Nelson got divorced a couple years after he got out of jail.
Yeah.
That's the Cosby touch.
And so that's the Mandela Effect?
Well, people believe that it that there is some sort of an alternate reality switch where they crossed over into a very similar universe, or they had like a window. There's a famous kids book that we all probably had when we were kids. Kids still have, called, and I definitely for sure remember this as the Berenstain Bears. But if you go look at it, it's never been Berenstain Bears. It's the Berenstain Bears.
What?
Yeah, and if you go look at it, I mean, it was always...
Well, so this is what that Ashton Kutcher movie was about.
No, that was a Butterfly Effect.
No.
That was the Butterfly Effect.
That's a time travel thing. That's not what that.
No,
that
that's
movie
what the
is
movie, the Butterfly Effect, was about. It was about
no, that's not what it was called.
No, it was about how Ashton Kutcher figured out how to go back in time, and he kept trying to make his life better, but it kept making it worse every time he went back in time. So he had to go further back and change stuff.
I have a memory of that movie being called The Mandela Effect.
No, that is the Mandela Effect then, if you have that memory.
No. You're getting confused.
I'm not confused.
No, you thought it was a time travel thing, but it's not.
The Butterfly Effect is a time travel thing.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about the Mandela Effect, the movie.
So is there a movie called The Butterfly Effect?
No. That's like there's a book, I think, it's referenced. I think that's where it comes from, is a book. But the Mandela Effect maybe there's a book, but there's been a Ashton Kutcher movie for a long time. And I know it's called The Mandela Effect.
No, it's not. It's not. You might be experiencing the Mandela Effect right now by thinking that
No.
was a movie that was the Mandela Effect, but that's not what's happening. And honestly, this will make a lot of sense. If you are from another alternate reality, and that's why you have trouble jiving in this one so much.
Well, I'm so sure of this. The only way I could be wrong is if this was some kind of alternate reality. So
That's what my point. That is my point exactly.
So our next story comes to us from the AV Club.
what does AV stand for again?
Audio visual.
Yes.
Anus and vagina.
The Anus and Vagina Club.
That's the third job you want when you're reporting your home. You want to be a member. That's after a hard day designing roller coasters and being an expert on pornography, you go home and hang out with the fellas in the what was it? In the AV room. Yeah.
So let me ask you guys something.
Okay.
Do you love meal delivery services, but hate all that time you waste cooking?
I don't like getting food delivered. I like to go pick it up. I like to leave the house.
No, like Blue Apron.
I've never tried. I've been wanting to try it forever, but I never have.
It's terrible. It's just
Really?
work. Yeah.
Yeah,
don't like
so
work.
Brian hates it.
You know that.
Yeah.
Do you? And now let me ask you one more thing. Do you love eating, but hate having to chew your food more than 1 or 2 times per bite?
It's actually it's the other way around. I hate eating, but I love chewing the food. It's the swallowing that gives me the issue.
That's right. He just has a big bucket next to his chair. When
Yeah. Yeah, I treat most food I treat like a wine tasting. And so I've managed to stay thin.
you just chew up meat and just spit it out in a bucket.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, Brian, now there's a meal delivery service for you. A new startup called Square Eat hopes to, quote, transform regular food into squares.
Like Wendy's?
Yeah, well, they already have that. It's called Wendy's.
Oh, they might have just ruined this company. So the company asks customers to pick a flavor. Flavors include
Strawberry.
Fisherman,
No.
Sweet Break, and Treat. And then they choose their meal size. A small meal consists of 4 gooey-looking squares, while a regular meal includes 6 larger gooey squares. Then the company delivers a number of boxes to the customer's home every few weeks. Supposedly, the company has an algorithm to ensure customers are getting enough nutrients, regardless of their flavor choices.
You know what this sounds great for? Anyone who lost their taste due to the COVID vaccine.
COVID-19 vaccine.
Yes, or not the vaccine. Well, the vaccine, ooh. Is the vaccine what's causing people to lose their sense of taste?
What?
Whoa.
In a lot of ways, the vaccine is way worse than the actual disease. I know a guy, and 3 seconds after he got the vaccine, he went blind, he shit himself, and then he just started eating the shit.
Oh.
And he's like, I can't stop. All he does is sit around and eat shit.
Right.
And now he's developed a stomach cramp.
Was that the first shot or the second one?
That was the first one. And this is what a libtard he is. He says he's going to go get the second one. A liberalism is a brain disease. I've said it before and I'm saying it again.
That's a compelling argument.
Indeed. I'm sorry that I implied
I
that
know him. I know the guy.
What's his name?
Jeff Steve.
Did he just finish writing a script about a family of Wolverines?
He's not going to make it.
Well, you can only eat your own feces for so long, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like once. I don't think it's like, what is it? Urine you can drink one time, right? Is that whatever the old saw?
I have not tried. I'm not saying that I have not tried, but I know I could go more than once on both. I just know that I could.
That's right. Well,
If I had to. Obviously, I don't want to.
Maybe that's the square shaped gooey meal.
Is there any more about this gooey meal?
Yeah, so Square Eat hopes to corner a market of heavily processed foods that look more like something you'd eat in a science fiction movie than something you'd actually want for dinner. Other participants...
They should have called it Q-Bert Eats.
Yeah.
Q-Bert?
I like
After the-
Q-Bert Eats.
yeah.
Q-Bert Eats. That would have been a better name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They might have gotten in trouble, but
Somebody has the trademark to Q-Bert probably, and it's
not
not
Q-Bert, Q-Bert.
Q-Bert.
Oh,
Like to play
Uber,
off
but
the
Q.
Uber Eats with the cube.
Yeah, it's too close to Uber.
Cube. But one's a cube, Kevin.
Yeah.
This is like the butterfly effect.
How is this like the butterfly effect?
Well, like I feel like I live in a world where Q-Bert Eats is the thing that it is, and you're telling me it's something different.
No, that would be the Mandela Effect if you're living in a different
That's
world.
the movie one.
No, the movie. There is no Mandela Effect movie.
No, there is. It's got the guy from that 70s show in it.
No, that's the butterfly effect. We already went. Let's just move on. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this again.
Other participants in this market include Soylent and Huel.
Wait, Soylent?
Yeah, you've never heard of Soylent?
Soylent Green?
That's what it's named after. It was
There's a
crowdsourced.
movie. There is a movie about that, and that ain't no Mandela Effect. It's called Soylent Green is the name of the movie.
Right.
And at the end, you find out that the Soylent Green is people, that they've been grinding up
What?
people the whole time.
Is Charlton Heston in that?
Yep.
I don't know. Was he in the Mandela Effect?
There's no Mandela Effect movie.
I hope.
I mean, if the Mandela Effect is real, there's a chance that on what universe you came from, there was a movie called The Mandela Effect starring Charlton Heston and Ashton Kutcher. For all I know, on your world, they did a ton of buddy comedies together the whole time.
Why do I have to be the one from the other universe? Maybe you come from a universe where that movie doesn't exist, but it does.
Well,
here.
let's ask everyone here. Do you guys think that there's a movie with Ashton Kutcher and Charlton Heston called The Mandela Effect? Have you ever heard of
They're
one?
both nodding their heads, vigorously nodding their heads.
I only ever heard of that tonight when Brian brought it up.
And Mark, what about
that's
you?
a stupid, horrible idea.
What about you?
It seems very familiar.
Thank you, Mark.
No, maybe you're both just regular, average people from a different Earth.
Maybe you're from the different Earth.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
As I was saying, other participants in this market include Soylent and Huel, both of which are mildly flavored powders that you can make into a shake. And also,
Like Crystal Light?
kind of like...
I believe in Crystal Light because I believe in me. Man, I haven't had a chance to belt that one out in a long time. Because I believe in me. Way to keep young listeners away from the...
I don't know. I was about to start talking about Give Me a Break because you're.
Give me a break.
all those kids that have started saying, "What are these? And what are these?"
Mm-hmm.
Somebody tell me that they've been saying that a lot because of the show.
Yeah.
That was me.
No. Yeah, I know who it was. I don't know if I'm allowed to say names of people who listen to the show because I would assume they want to be anonymous.
Well, most good people don't want to be called out for their good traits. They know they're good, and we know they're good. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we only cover people who are doing bad things on the show. But yeah, it's like a protein powder.
The porn guy wasn't doing anything bad. He was just fighting for justice
Mm-hmm.
True.
in a world gone fucking wild.
That's one of the videos he lost forever. Yeah.
Yeah, world gone wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's also the now discontinued Dilburrito, a bean-based vegan goo wrapped in a tortilla and heavily promoted by the comic strip Dilbert's problematic creator, Scott Adams.
Well, now I know this is a bad idea.
What happened to Scott Adams?
He's a fucking right-wing dildo. He's a right-wing Dilbert. No, but he's like a super goofball fucking like he does these like
The My Pillow guy?
yeah, pretty much. Man, he's not.
Oh, okay.
He's a lot less funny. Like he's a lot less unintentionally funny. He just like turns on his computer and he just lopes in front of it and talks about like President Trump has a lot of good ideas and you know he's He's a dill hole. He's a fucking dumb.
He also had like 2 years of his life or something where he couldn't speak to women.
What?
Well, I feel bad for him. That sounds terrible. That sounds.
It
I hope
does
he got
sound
help for
terrible,
that.
but it's just because he was
Like an
such
allergy? Like an allergy type thing?
I think it was a mental allergy to women.
That's the thing that I wish I wasn't when I was 14. That's
Yeah, were the 2 years the ages 13 to 15? A lot of people went through that.
Yeah.
Not me, but a lot of other people. A lot of not alphas.
How did you talk to women when you were 14?
With my tongue in their mouths. And they were in their 20s and they were models.
They probably don't live around our school though. They probably were.
No, they didn't go to school. They were going to modeling school.
Yeah. You only saw them on the weekends. They didn't want to come
Because I was too busy skating and playing Dungeons and Dragons with my friends. Scott fucking Adams Dilbert it is that weird thing where like he's still just, I mean, I think like a lot of people have absolutely no idea that he's this like, he's got like a following of like right wing kind of, they call it red pill, guys that have been red pilled, which is like a sort of pre QAnon term of like,
It comes from the Matrix.
It's essentially kind of like, you know, I don't know. You know, I'm sure if one of them was listening, and I hope they are, you dumb fucks. And that's not a, hey, we're ribbing on Oklahoma. You dumb pieces of shit.
Oh yeah, they're awful.
If you're listening, you are a dumb fucking dumb. He's like a setup to QAnon. Like, I don't think he actually believes any crazy, but he's like that quasi men's rights kind of thing of like, you know, I don't know. It's exhausting to talk about it. Like it's fascinating and exhausting, and like I think like all this like weird Q men's rights fucking numbnuts. Like it would be so entertaining if you were reading about it as a thing that happened in the 70s, and you're like, how weird was that? And it just went away. But like living through it is so fucking annoying. And there is the weird thing of like, oh, it's so things are only getting dumber. It seems like so it could just become a full. It could get worse. I don't know. I mean, it seems like a lot of the Q stuff is kind of like falling apart. But
well, that's just the eye of the storm.
No, also that.
So, are these so-called red pill people? They sound like are they incel type people? Is this like
There's some overlap.
it's like a weird all-encompassing term that's like even on the lightest of levels, it's supremely annoying and stupid, and on the worst levels, it's, you know, kind of deadly,
yeah,
and real toxic and gnarly.
It's weird when people choose a philosophy that is just a miserable way to live.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to choose to believe something, I mean, why not believe that everybody's really secretly nice, but they're not allowed to tell you?
Yeah.
You know, that'd be a good way to go through life. Maybe everybody really wants you to be nice to them. They want to be nice back, but they all have hang-ups that keep it from happening.
I mean, it's an
That's
internet.
why Mark isn't nice to us?
I think Mark's, you know what? Mark's been
He's nice to Brian.
a pleasure.
He's been, he's nice to Brian tonight.
He respects the truth and respects honesty.
It was like that
so,
movie, the Mandela Effect.
Yeah.
We're big fans.
Yes. Why are you talking about that again?
I hope you get to see it I hope they do a repertory screening in a theater and you guys can both go together and get all the popcorn.
I've seen it. I don't need to see it. I didn't say it was a good movie, but I've seen it.
Who directed it?
Sam Raimi.
I think I might be believing you now.
Yeah.
Well, I think that wraps up another week in the International News Service. Find us on social media at International News Pod. Check out our Redbubble page. Check out our Patreon. And feel free to email us if you see any stories or have any comments for us at internationalnewspod@gmail.com. And,
welcome new listeners. Welcome to Patreon subscribers. Welcome old enemies of the podcast, QAnons. Fuck you.
And remember to rate, review, subscribe, and tell a friend about us. We'll see you next week.
Get stickers and take pictures of them places.
Oh, yeah. And, get our stickers, stick them up somewhere, and send us a picture. We've officially got a sticker in Canton, Ohio. We need some more to spread around the country.
And you can just take a picture and send it to us electronically. You don't have to put it in the mail.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Next week.
Mm-hmm. That's when this will occur again, fellas.
Thank you for listening to the International News Service. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. INS, the news you need.